What's good, my G's? Your boy Snow, Ignorant Gamers in the house. How you doing? How you living? How you gaming? I'm just gonna cut the crap real quick that I normally do here when I do the intro. No plugs or nothing like that. But it's 2 a.m. on the 10th of February 2016, and I just found out that GameTrailers.com closed its doors after 13 years. They did it on the 8th. I've kind of been in my own little maelstrom. Shout out to anybody that gets that reference as of late. So I haven't really been, keeping in tune with what's going on. Stuff I am hearing, it's just disgusting. I'm also avoiding things like fanboy wars and, all that kind of garbage. With that said, this thing came across my feed on Facebook. Actually, it was in the right hand side where they do the trending at, and I'm just gonna read the post. Again, February 8th, 7:44 p.m. After 13 years, Game Trailers is closing down today. When Game Trailers was founded in 2002, internet video was a revolutionary concept. YouTube wouldn't be founded for another 3 years. Consumer live streaming was 9 years away. Back then, online game journalism was still dominated by text articles and static imagery. The most prestigious coverage still happened in print. If you wanted to watch a show about video games, you had to watch it on a special TV station that had 10 shows. I believe he's talking about G4 TV. Game Trailers helped change all that. Today, game journalism is dominated by video, trailers, live gameplay, let's play, and news shows. Oh, excuse me. Now there are millions of hours of content available at any time on your PC, your game console, your TV, and your phone. We're proud we help bring this world into being. That is the legacy of Game Trailers. We're grateful to all of our fans who help make us successful. Thank you for your continued support over the years. It's been an adventure. So 21 one up salute to these GameTrailers.com and all of their their time and effort that they put into this. It's super sad to see anyone be put down out of a job, out of industry. It's really sad to see something in the industry that I actually care about, which is gaming. And see people who work hard at bringing great content to the best of the ability of the vision that they're trying to do, and to see it go out of to go out. So sudden, didn't even know that was happening. I didn't know that there was I think in 2014 there was a, what was it, like a let go a few people, downsized a little bit. It's these things happen. Everyone at some point or another, when you work, and you're gonna be a part of that. So it's just something that happens, and sometimes when you make those things happen, you end up being able to survive. My thing with Game Trailers, wow, they said 13 years ago. They said put you at 2003. My first website for video games was actually videogames.com, which would later become GameSpot.com, and then Game FAQs, and there was another site that IGN ended up doing. I believe OneUp was one of them. There was a few other sites that was coming up, and we wanted GamePro to have one. We wanted Informer to have one, and those who was there early, like in the late 90s. They were the ones who grabbed the crowd. I actually didn't become an IGN fan till about 2008, maybe. But I was with the other partners that they had bought out. Game Trailers, every now and then I would come across them, and they would have some written pieces that was very good. And it was such a shame that didn't turn over into videos the way that the market was going to for them. And it's these guys, they did reviews, when GamePro went down, you barely had Informer left. IGN and GameSpot, as much as I respect what they do, a lot of stuff is held into account of their reviews that shouldn't be held there, and that's one of the reasons why I beef with Polygon. And I do respect those dudes, so don't think I'm bashing them. It's just sometimes I think when we are doing these gaming things, and I'm no professional or nothing like that, but I think we need to keep out certain shit just not need to be done in a review because it's so personalized to one person. Like if you played on a bad day and a comment about some shit just pops through, like stop. You know what I mean? Like on Forbes just recently did something about the Division, and if you can't tell, I'm black. And they called out some shit about the Black Lives Matter and the cops movement and how shooting the thugs in New York City, and you're supposed to be some kind of police authority figure. Like no, stop. And I would get that removed when I did get a Game Trailer piece from their website and from the videos that they did do or whatever posts of media that they was able to produce. I didn't go on their site as much as I would have liked, but I am subscribed to them damn near everywhere that matters, which is definitely YouTube. And at times they were the voice of reason when I am looking for something that I didn't want to cover but I want it reviewed. I do this depending on the game, because some games I go to GameSpot for, some games I go to IGN for. And shout out to Adam Sessler and that whole team over there. It's kind of sad to see them go, but I would pick one of those two first, then do the other, and then I would go to see if Game Trailers would have one, and they would be the ones that I would use in order to make a final destination of whether or not I'm going to either buy the game or wait till I can get my hands on it some other kind of way, or just straight up just skip it. And it's that kind of balance where it's like, how if you guys that are subscribed to me, and some of y'all say subscribe to us, our channel, you guys say, oh man, you guys deserve more, and we're thankful for everything we get. But if I had to say anybody, definitely Game Trailers, and of course Adam Sessler when he was helping out Rev 3 Games, or whatever that situation was. These guys, they did the work. They did the work, and it's super sad to see them go. I don't really know what else to say, but hopefully that, all of those people who are working there, and if this was dropped on you suddenly, I hope that, all of you guys, if there was packages given, I hope you guys got packages. I hope you guys are able to help out with your families and take care of some real family things, because being let go suddenly is it's bad. When your whole company gets let go, somebody knew beforehand. That motherfucker didn't just wake up and go, you know what, we pulling the trigger. So I hats off to those guys. If you guys see them on Twitter or whatever, if you ever came across a piece for them, and these guys were very big, man. At one point you can go to them and you can catch the latest trailer for whatever. They were a very specific, specialized group, and I do enjoy what they did and what they have been doing. So hopefully these people are all able to get involved and get back out there, or open up some things and get busy. And if any of you guys happen to see this message and you start up a YouTube channel, reach out to us. Reach out to Ignorant Gamers. We do what we can. I'll definitely would definitely point people in the right direction. At least let people know that you guys are out there. The same way how like Greg and his team over at Kind of Funny Games is doing. Like if you guys go do that, even if you guys go join them, just let someone know. It is a community. If you got projects that you're working on, holla at us, whatever the case may be. But again, a very sincere thank you for what you have done in the industry, because you guys are correct with your legacy as far as I know as well. You guys have been there since the 2000s, while I was still in college. And I remember going to the guy's site and thinking like, yeah, content is king, because I ain't really like the way the site looked originally. You know what I mean? But that was me. I built websites, so I was looking at everything like a whole different way. And the website has, transformed since then. I think the first thing I came across their website, I think it was like a black background with some what was it, like red, green, and yellow at the top header in the center, and it was like a mission statement or whatever. And I think Medal of Honor was covered on it. Like I hated that site. And then later they updated it to be like I think might be the same color blue they use now. And I remember what was it there? I think it was like, I want to say it was Def Jam Vendetta. It was the time that we were all looking for the Matrix, the PC footage. We were looking for the PC footage of the Matrix. There was another big game around that time, and the reason that I liked their site, because I followed publishers. I was very, like, as a kid when I picked up games, I would look at the box art and I would study the box art, because I was always into graphic design, and I wanted to know why there's these two names on a thing. And also I listen to hip hop, and if you know anything about hip hop, things are a little label focused, and when you watch hip hop videos, you'll see like 15 fucking names. It'll be like, yeah, it's Sony Music Entertainment, yeah, it's under Sony, it's Columbia, under Columbia, it's insert this artist label with another label and then another label. So, I learned that it's not that different from gaming, metaphorically speaking. And so they used to keep everything on their homepage, and it was super easy to get to with the newer trailers at the top. And they were one of the websites that I used to fucking hate. And it's not their fault. This is just what the standard was, and they picked the two best standards of these shits. But back then, when it was Media Player versus QuickTime, aka fucking Windows versus Apple, the original beef. And QuickTime Player was it got better, but it was kind of a bitch back then. And Windows Media Player wasn't that great either, but it all depends on who had the best encoding, blah blah blah. I don't want to get into that, it's boring. But I remember every time going back to their site, and they kept working at it. So like, I seen the growth, just like I seen videogames.com, aka GameSpot, like, to see where it's at now versus when I first used to go to it. I remember when they were doing, I think it was once a day up to the final release day of what was it, WWF Warzone or some shit, with the intros. That was a big thing. I seen the progress in game trailers, in game trailers, and they even had like the TV spots, like the stuff now that you can find on YouTube. Like, you would see it on TV, you would never see it again, because other sites got different versions of it. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I know them for originally. And we didn't have TiVo back then. We kind of did, but not really. But yeah, so sorry, I know I'm rambling, but I just wanted to throw that in there. Oh man, so anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna drop that there. And God bless everybody who was working there. And yeah, hopefully we see y'all in some form again. All right, peace.